Okay, hello again. This is the 5 Minute Tarot for the 12th of October 2017. And I'm saying it's a 5 Minute Tarot, but this is not really directly about the tarot. But you might find it interesting and you also might find it useful so that you can adapt what I'm about to tell you for your own purposes to make your own life less stressful and to bring about what it is that you want to bring about. That's the general point. So this is something that happened a few days ago, and I'll tell you what happened. But it also ties in with some of the information in the last video about one being unity, containing everything, and two being the reflection of unity, and how we can look at what's in the reflection, which is sort of everyday life, and think it's real and it's what's happening, and forget about or not realize about the original, which is what's actually going on. So I'll give you an example of that kind of in action. So a few days ago, I had to go to this doctor's office. It was a follow-up, like once a year kind of follow-up. The actual thing, that medical part of it doesn't really matter. So I went to the doctor's office and I checked in, and then I took a seat, and there was one wall with maybe 15 chairs side by side along the wall, and there were some chairs opposite. So I sat down at the end of the row, right next to where I knew I was going to go in to see the doctor. And at the far end, there was an older woman sitting. And then about 4 seats along from me, there was this old fellow. I say old, I'm not that young anymore, but he was maybe 75, 78, that kind of age. So I sat down, and I had various notes to make, but then the fellow sitting beside me, not immediately beside me, but a little bit along, he started going, and he started making this noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but it was like every 2 or 3 seconds he would make this noise, a sort of grunt, and and he wouldn't stop. And it was really annoying. You probably can recognize this when you've been in a place and you want some quiet and there's somebody, and it was really annoying. So I was sitting there thinking, and I was getting on, what can I do about this? And then I thought, okay, I can go to the washroom and that'll get me away. And then when I come back, instead of sitting where I had been sitting, I could sit in another part of the office. But then I thought, no, I can't do that. But then I noticed that over to the right, it's quite a big office, but there was a little pharmacy area where they had stuff on sale and so on. You could pick up prescriptions, I imagine. And so I thought I could go over there and pretend that I'm looking, I'm making up all this stuff. I could pretend I'm looking at the stuff that's there, and then instead of coming back to my seat, I could sit down there, and that might have solved the problem. So there's the kind of thing that I think we all do. We imagine what we could do to fix a problem. But then I realized, okay, this fellow who's annoying me so much, I've got to stop it. And instead of being annoyed at him and sending him negativity and annoyance, I mean, he's been damaged enough, as have we all been damaged by the way we're treated, the way we live, and circumstances and so on. So I thought, instead of sending him negativity, I'm going to in a way I was going back to the original, because I thought, okay, you've been damaged, so I hope you get better. I can't do anything to fix you, like magically snap my fingers and suddenly you're cured, but I can at least relax and send you positive thoughts and ideas, and be considerate of you. And I found it difficult to rise above it and not be affected by it, because it was just so annoying. But I thought, I can't just be annoyed at him and add to his difficulty by me sitting a few feet away from him and thinking these harsh thoughts about him and wishing he would stop and being annoyed, that kind of thing. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get over that. And so we're all together, we're all one, we're all in this together. And so I know that if I'm annoyed with you, all I'm going to do is get annoyance back. As at the end of one of the songs in Abbey Road, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. So that's one way of saying you get back what you give out. So if I'm giving out hostility and aggression, that's what I'm going to get back from people. Whereas if I give out consideration and kindness and positive thoughts, I'm going to get that back as well. So I started thinking along those lines and just relaxing. And then he got up and he went to the washroom. And then he came back and sat down. And then about half a minute later, he got up and he went over to the pharmacy area, looked at the stuff on the shelves, and then sat down over there. So he didn't come back to sit beside me. And that's what I wanted to tell you. So that I had a problem. And if I don't know what, I didn't fix it by willing it to change. I imagined what I could do, but then I forgot about what I would do and instead thought positive, not thinking positively so that I would benefit, but just being generally optimistic and wishing this fellow well, that whatever his physical problem is, because it's not like he came in and sat beside me and deliberately tried to harass me by making this noise. That's not what was going on. I sat beside him, and he was the one who's got this probably annoying for him as well. So instead of adding to the annoyance, I forgot about what I wanted and I didn't try, I sort of, do you know what I mean? I thought, okay, just relax and we're all in this together. And that idea of sending good thoughts instead of bad thoughts to this fellow. And the situation solved itself. The problem solved itself. When I stopped thinking about it or adding to it, because in a way, the problem was happening in the mirror, if you remember the last video. It was happening in the reflection. And so there's no point in trying to fix the reflection. What you need to do is go to the original that's being reflected and make a change there. So maybe I was the original in my own way, and I was annoyed and adding to the annoyance in the atmosphere. But when I stopped being annoyed and instead realized or was aware of the fact that there is unity and that we're all part of it and that unity is harmonious. And so negativity doesn't really belong in unity. You know, it can seem to be real but it's in the reflection, not in the original unified. Remember, I am Gladiator. It's not in Gladiator. It may be represented by or be shown in an expression of Gladiator, but it's not within Gladiator itself. So the annoyance I was feeling was not within unity. It was my own creation. It was me seeing a reflection in the mirror and assuming that it's real and acting as if it were real. So that's something I wanted to tell you. I don't quite know what was going on exactly. I have ideas about what was going on, and I may try and duplicate it if the same kind of thing happens again. But you might like to consider that when you're thinking about the law of attraction and what's going on and how we can handle a situation so that it changes or we change or it improves. So if you've got a stressful situation in your life, maybe consider that kind of approach. So instead of thinking about the problem itself, relax and remember that we're all one, or that we're all in this together. And so if we can recognize that or operate from being in harmony with unity, see what happens. And if you try something like this and it works, maybe you could let me know and give me some idea about the circumstances, the conditions, the kind of thinking you were involved with as well. Because I think Troward, in one of his books, talks about the creative power of human thought, that we, all of us, that's you too, I'm talking to you, where all of us, we have the human thought is extremely creative and powerful. So it's powerful for good as well as for not good, evil, or creating problems according to the way that we think. But I think it's not just as simple as, okay, I want a Ferrari. Suddenly there's one appears in the driveway. It's not that kind of cause and effect, immediate happening. Maybe it is if you're really evolved, but I think it's more to do if we can practice being in harmony with unity and see what happens in our daily life and the kinds of situations that we have to deal with. Okay, that was it for today. Next time I'll come back and I'll do something that's definitely tarot related. Only because this is a 5-minute tarot. But anyway, what do you think? Have you got ideas, comments? Leave them below or email me directly and see what happens. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again. Okay, bye-bye.